guys, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. We are back in the Scandals of Shan area. However, this chair is like, it's my little favourite place at the moment. I'm like here with my reading blanket, my new book that I'm absolutely obsessed with. One moment it is lovely and sunny outside, then we've got torrential rainstorms. I'm here for it. It's getting cozy. I've got my candle on. Guys, we are going to have something we haven't had for a long time, and that is a travel diaries. You know me, whenever we have a little travel trip, we always do a little rundown. We have trips, Q&As, and this one I've actually made into more a little Q&A, because normally with these videos I just sit, we talk about where we've stayed, like average cost of things, but I thought, you know what, I've actually had a lot of questions about Rome and where to go, what to do, what it's like out there. So I've asked away and you guys have sent many questions in, so we will answer them throughout the video. But yeah, this is travel diaries. I'm going to say, what are we calling this one? The Roman ruins. So Rome. If you guys did not know, Rome was my main birthday present from Dan this year, and we don't normally get each other trips away. We normally have a little weekend away somewhere in the UK, to be honest, but because it was my 30th and Rome was somewhere he had been on his list for the Colosseum. He loves all stuff gladiators, and I've always wanted to go to Rome. I've always actually just wanted to go to Italy. It's one place that I've never been to. So to have that surprise, I mean, if you guys have seen my birthday video, I was taken aback beyond belief. I had no idea. He kept his cards so close to his chest coming up to my birthday. It was like, don't look in that bag, don't look there, don't, like, just don't do anything. And I'm like, okay. And then it was like, where's our cases? And I'm like, why do we need our cases? And then I found out, obviously, my present, and it was like, when do we go? And my birthday was on Friday, and he said, yeah, we go like a week tomorrow. We go Saturday. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had no time for shopping. I had no time for outfits. It was literally raid the wardrobe and see what on earth we've got. But it was truly a fantastic gift, memories that we're going to have for a lifetime, and we actually can't wait to go back there already. So we had, in essence, we landed Saturday night, very late Saturday night, and if you've seen the vlog, there was a little bit of a palaver. We didn't end up getting to the hotel until early hours of Sunday morning. We had all day Sunday, all day Monday, all day Tuesday. No, we come home Tuesday late night. So we had 2.5 days, I'm going to say. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think our flight was about 8 o'clock at night. Shh. Sorry, guys. Belly's rumbling. You shouldn't be rumbling. I'm doing a fast at the moment, so the body's like, what's going on? You're just giving me water. Apologies for that. But yeah, so we had 2.5 days. And then on the Wednesday, we got late back. Tuesday, I think we got home maybe just gone midnight on the Wednesday morning. And then I had that day off, my last annual holiday day. And I had that off to just get stuff in order at the house, because we still had to like de-birthday-fy the house and everything like that. In terms of Rome, the flight, we flew from Heathrow, which we haven't ever done before. And it took, I want to say, not even 3 hours. I feel like it's only 3.5. I could be wrong. It could be more, it could be less. I'm going to say about 3.5 hours. Under 4, definitely. They are an hour ahead as well. We landed in Rome Airport. The one thing I will say, maybe because we landed at night, but there wasn't much help around Rome Airport, and it was quite chaotic if you didn't know what you're doing or where you're going, which was us. There was queues upon queues for taxis. The shuttle bit where we was packed, but no one was coming to get us. Then we looked at getting an Uber, where you had to walk over to another part of the airport, which then told you to get back to the main terminal and go upstairs. It wasn't very signposted well, and I would say that if you're going, just make sure you've got a little bit of extra time for, say, your transfer, or if you need help, maybe have like a translator app, because it was very hard trying to communicate. Obviously you have that language barrier, but if you're like texty and they're kind of like, it makes you think, what the hell am I supposed to do? And where the hell am I supposed to go? So if you guys have seen the vlog, you know we got to the room about 1:30 in the morning. And then we had to be up bright and early for 9 o'clock the next morning because we had a Colosseum tour. So one of the questions was, I believe, what trips did we do? The first trip that we done was the Colosseum tour, which was, Dan absolutely loved that. And let me have a look, where was we? Yes, what trips did you do? So we done Colosseum, we done the crypts and catacombs, we done a ghost tour, we done St. Peter's Basilica, and then we did book the Vatican twice, and both times got cancelled. Great, which is a reason why we have to go back. So the Vatican, I would say, is very, very crowded beyond belief. The actual Vatican, we walked up to it, we spoke about it in the vlog. 15 minutes before we were due to pick up our tickets, they cancelled. To get into it was ridiculous queues, and we was like, you know what, it was our last day because we had it cancelled on the Sunday. We then rebooked it for the Tuesday morning. Obviously we left Tuesday evening and they cancelled Tuesday morning, so we didn't have any time to rebook it, so we definitely got to go back. However, we did the St. Peter's Basilica Square. We climbed St. Peter's Basilica, we done the trip around inside all of the cathedrals and all of the ruins, and the halls were just, oh my goodness. The statues within Rome and their figures, they make London look tiny. And the Vittoriana, or the Vittoria, that was mine and Dan's favourite, apart from the Colosseum, because we passed it every day, and just seeing the grand stature of this building was just like, wow. Like, there was nothing we could compare it to in England. We find ourselves now when we go to London and we see, like, obviously the big buildings, and we look up and we're like, I'm not talking like your skyscrapers, I'm talking, say, like your Albert Halls and bits like that, and we look up at them and we're like, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. But yes, so we done quite a few trips. The ghost tour one, oh, me and Dan love a ghost tour. Whether it's in England or abroad, we always try and have some form of like a spooky walk or something like just a little bit eerie. Whether it be, we've done Jack the Ripper. When we first went to Edinburgh, we done the Edinburgh Skywalk. We have done one in York, and we've got one booked, hopefully, for Poland. Guys, when we eventually go Poland and we do a travel diaries, I will tell you the sheer catastrophe that we've experienced with Poland as well, because it's just one thing after another. I just don't think I'm meant to travel. I really don't. I just don't think I'm meant to travel or leave the country at all. But that will be for when we're in Poland. That will be towards the end of the year, my goodness. But you know what? This time is flying by, isn't it? And the time did fly by fast in Rome. Now, with the Colosseum, it is a lot of walking. A lot of walking. However, there's different packages with the Colosseum. So the one thing that I found with Rome, when booking trips, I either book through the Viator app or the Get Your Guide app. Those ways are, you have it in there, you have your tickets, all of your details are within the app. I find it a lot more easier. I also like it because you can cancel, I believe it's 72 hours before without being charged. So if things did happen last minute, as I say, like when we had to change around with the Vatican, we was able to change around. There was a no fee on that because obviously they had cancelled it, and any payments that get taken get refunded in 7 to 10 working days. After that, as I say, the crypts and the catacombs was amazing. Definitely a bit spooky, and if you're not into that, like Danny was a bit like, oh, don't know if this is a bit much, like a chandelier made of collarbones. But if you're into the historical side of it, that, listening to the heritage and where it all come from and how they started with the crypts, definitely a very good eye-opener. Your ghost tour wasn't too long. It just took you around like the main squares within Rome. And then obviously the St. Peter's Basilica and the cathedrals, grand tours of the halls and everything like that. Wow. If you have seen the Basilica vlog, them steps are not friendly. They killed me. Like, there was many times when I was like, I actually can't do this. My body is telling me, no, turn around and go down. And Dan was like, come on, we can do this. And when you get to the top, the views are so worth it. However, Jesus Christ, did our legs hurt. We was hitting, I think, what was it? 38,000 steps the first day, 28, 25, like, we're hitting up nearly 85, 90,000 steps each over 3 days. Well, in essence, 2.5. So we definitely bloody got our money's worth out of it. Rome in itself, once you know where you are, I think it's actually quite easy to get around. From our first day of going to the Colosseum, we saw the signs for the Trevi, we saw roughly where it was. The second day, we was kind of like, right, we'll get into there, we'll chuck that right, go that left, Bob's your uncle, there we are. And it was actually really alright to get there. However, Google Maps was a great find for one of the trips. I think it was the Crypts and Catacombs, because it was down a lot of like quadrants and you had to change the alleys and directions. So just be careful with that. What I would say, very, very good thing in Rome is free refillable water stations. Still, and if it's working, sparkling. So my tip for Rome would be to take a reusable water bottle, because you can fill it up anywhere. They're normally placed around onto the quadrants, the squares. Colosseum had like 4 in them, so if you're going near an attraction, you will find like a refillable water pump there. But you also had the free water out of the taps. They're almost like fire hydrants with taps out. That again, people are saying is all filtered, everything you can drink. Dan just wanted to do it from the machine. He thought it might be a bit safer. However, everyone was pretty much going to the taps as well. So definitely take like a refillable water bottle, because you can save a fortune and not keep buying water. And we bought water the first day we was there and then just refilled our bottles for the rest of the duration. In terms of price wise, now everyone said to us, Rome is going to be expensive. People was comparing Rome to Dublin prices. I've seen Dublin prices. Girl cannot afford Dublin just yet, to put it very bluntly. But I think if you go there, it can be very expensive. Like everyone said to us that Reykjavik was very expensive. You can see in Reykjavik how it can be. Certain restaurants, if you go for certain styles of food, if you go to certain bars for drinks, you can start racking up the price. Me and Dan, I think, done Reykjavik on a really good budget, and we was having meals with a drink for maybe about 20 euros. Some places you was paying that for a starter. So I think it all depends what you want to take out of the experience, where you want to go. What I would say is if you're going around the Colosseum area, the prices will be slightly heightened around the shops, and whether that be the gift shops for you want to pop in for a bottle of water, you're going to pay a little bit more. Anything around Castel St. Angelo and of course the Vatican, the prices will be slightly higher because it's like a tourist trap. However, food wise, we didn't seem to pay more than, I'm going to say, between 60 to 80 euros for our evening meal. So bearing in mind we had breakfast included at our hotel, so we didn't have to worry about breakfast. Lunch would be a light bite. We might stop off for a cheeky pint of beer and we might share a little pizza or a sandwich and chips, something like that. And then we would have dinner. I think it was only one day we had lunch. I think so, because the trips were so long. So I think one of the days we had lunch and the other 2 we hung out till dinner. And as I say, dinner was roughly 65 to 80 euros. And that would be for an alcoholic drink each. We would have a starter to share. We would then have a main each, and normally like a side dish to share. We also, I really, 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 really recommend. We got stuck in a little bit of a pickle on one of our nights and we had no clue where to go for dinner in this area. Went on TripAdvisor and found this really, you wouldn't know it was there unless you was a local. It was like a kind of hidden gem down an alleyway. And oh, honestly guys, the food, banging. We also pre-booked for La Biga. Now, if we go back to the Colosseum, which I definitely think we'll do, La Biga is one that I'm booking up again. You have to book online, you have to book in advance, and you pay a holding fee deposit. When you're there and you've checked in for your meal and everything like that, I think they refund part of your deposit and then the rest of it goes towards your meal, or I'm not too sure how it works. But I booked that, obviously, as soon as I knew we was going Rome, I was like, Dan, can I please book a restaurant? And he was like, yeah, no worries. He thought I was booking Hard Rock. I did book Hard Rock, but if you've seen the vlogs, we never made it to Hard Rock. That is another reason we have to go back. But I booked La Biga. And I always said if I went to Rome, that was the place I wanted to eat at. It had astronomical views of the Colosseum. It's literally opposite the Colosseum. You go up these little steps and it's along like this little, it's just a little terrace. It's not a huge place, obviously that's why you have to book, but you have the views of the Colosseum. It was not rushed. The food was delightful. It was such a nice ambience, atmosphere, just everything I loved. And I said to Dan, I was like, what do you think? And he was like, I give it to you. This is a good shout. I was like, yay. I was so, so happy that he enjoyed it. The food, banging. But yes, with that, if you're going to the Colosseum, you want an evening meal by the Colosseum, or even a lunch, I think you still have to pre-book. La Biga, honestly guys, I would definitely highly recommend. In terms of crypts and catacombs, as I say, that was, you met at the part where the crypts were, then you got a coach, lovely air-conditioned coach, which is definitely what you need when it's 32 degrees in June. That was one thing we didn't anticipate, how hot it was going to be, and there wasn't really a breeze, which you may think if there's not a breeze, you're going to be sticky and clammy. It wasn't. It was just such a dry heat. You guys would have seen from the vlog, day one, Shannon got burnt to a crisp and she still has a hideous tan lines. So that was lovely. And as I say, the whole ambience with the Vatican, it is busy. There is no segregation for tours or locals. So when you're queuing, everyone is merging in with each other. Everyone is trying to get to that queue. And you just have to be prepared. There's going to be like a little bit of barging, a little bit of shoving. It's going to be very, very hot. Oh my goodness. Shush! You've only got a few more hours and then I can feed you. Do you want more water? Is that what you want? You want water? I'm not getting up and getting you water. You've just had water. But yes, getting that, the ghost tour, it took you around a few of kind of like the back ends of the town squares and bits and bobs. There is a true crime museum there and I'm absolutely gutted because it's closed. They told us a story about like the executioner, they called him, the man in the red cloak. And the red cloak is in this museum, but you can't get there. And then when we left, I have never, ever, ever been in an airport more bougie than Rome. Here's me, right? I think I had about 100 euros left out of my money. And I was like, right, I'm going to get magnets. I'm going to get Dad a lighter. Going to get some little tops and tea towels. I'd seen all of this when we'd been out to the shops. And I thought, I'm not going to pick it up because more baggage and weight and everything like that. Get it when I'm at the airport. There was not a souvenir or gift shop in sight. There was your big duty frees. And then it was designer upon designer upon designer. And I'm not talking like, what do we normally have in the UK ones? We have Ted Baker, Superdry. No, I'm talking like Chanel, Hermes, Gucci, Samsonite travel suitcases. You know when you look and you think, nah. I'm like, where's the normal shop? They did have within that duty free like a food section. I really wanted some pasta. Dan was like, we're not bringing fresh pasta. We can get pasta back home. And I'm like, it's not Italiano though. We didn't get any pasta. We did bring back some truffles though. And limoncello, of course. A little drinky poo. And there was no gift shop. There was nowhere like I could get a tacky magnet or a pen or a lighter. So I was kind of annoyed because that's like staples. Don't get me wrong, I did get magnets from when we was out and about, but I was like going to get Mum and Dada's bits there. So Mum ended up having bits from Leonardo da Vinci exhibition. Dada had his Bacchi and some limoncello. So yeah, I was kind of like, right, next time I go to Rome, there was a lot of shops on the outside of where you queue for the Basilica. They had really, really good bits, quite reasonable price as well. So next time I go back, that is where I'm picking up all my souvenirs, and I will not be wasting time thinking that I can get it at the airport when you really, really can't. But yes, my lovelies, Rome was all in all just absolutely fantastic, honestly. One of my lovelies says, hi honey, did you go where they have the water figures? It looks so lovely. So I think you might mean Trevi Fountain perhaps. And yes, we did go there. We went there twice. The first time they was emptying it, and we didn't realise, because I asked you guys in the video that was on, was the money, like, does it go to the government? And you said it goes to the local charities. So me and Dan are not mad at that. We thought it went to the government or the Vatican, but I love that that goes to charities. Actually, really, really nice. Hope you took lots of pictures, like you did when you was with Dan on the beach when you went together. I still love that picture. And what was your favourite part of Rome? I think the picture you're on about is St. Lucia, isn't it? I think it's the one where we're looking back with the sea behind us. I love that one too. What was our favourite part? I know Dan will say his favourite part is the Colosseum. My favourite part was the crypts. Like, I could go and watch that day in, day out. I'd love to travel to all the crypts around Rome. Oh, yes. One of my lovely says, this is great. Thank you so much. Know from what you've said, you have both had a fantastic time. We did. Was Rome better than expected? And is it true that certain parts of the Vatican's are off limits? Loads of love. Loads of love too. So, Rome was far better than I'd ever anticipated. And I said to Dan, did he have expectations for it? And it was kind of like, we're going to go there with an open mind because we didn't know what to expect. And it far exceeded the expectations for both of us. And as I say, we can't wait to actually just go back and do the bits that we didn't do. The Spanish Steps, try and get to the Trevi Fountain of an evening because they do a light show Dan wanted to see. Also get into the Vatican, go to the Hard Rock. There's so much there that we want to go back and do. And I don't know, certain parts of the Vatican are off limits. I know when we was in the Basilica, like cathedral part, you couldn't go downstairs. That was only designated for the Pope. And I'm not too sure if there was a room at the back that obviously is just for like higher, godlier people, not the average Joe likes. Not the average Joe like us that could go in there. But in terms of the actual Vatican, I don't know because I've not been in there. Not been in there, but if, I say if, when we go back, because we are definitely going back, that's hands down something for 2026, I think. Maybe a little bit longer, I'm not too sure, than the 2 days we had last time. But I will let you know. I will let you know if it's off limits. Do you think it's off limits? Because I see the Vatican fascinates me because I'm like, do they perform exorcisms? Like the demonic side of me, I just get so excited, and I think Dan's quite worried when we go in there what I'm going to be asking. One of my lovelies says, hi Shannon, hope you're well. Just wanted to ask, would you recommend Rome as a holiday for kids aged 8 and 6 as it's mainly a walking holiday? Okay, this is actually a very, very good question. So, if you get somewhere that is very central, you won't have so much walking. So we stayed at Trastevere, and we was about 40-minute walk from the Colosseum. That, however, it was a lovely walk. You're literally, you come out, you walked down one main road, crossed over, followed it down, you see the lovely Vittoriani, follow it round and the Colosseum's there. However, if it is very hot and you've got Litlands, I would probably say maybe go a little bit more closer into the town. However, with that, you will pay higher premiums. So I would say if you was to maybe go in not a peak time when the temperatures were so hot, also do the children enjoy walking? If they are point blank, no, I'm not walking, you're going to have to try and get somewhere straight in the centre, or we didn't experience it, but they do trams, maybe get trams and buses and that around. If they're okay with walking, but maybe they need a little distraction here and there, the walk from Trastevere where we was into town, you had your supermarkets, you had your gift shops, you had your slush puppies and your ice creams. So there's always little something to maybe, if they start getting a little bit, are we there yet? You can just kind of distract them and be like, grab a chocolate bar or grab a drink to cool down and things like that. Why am I doing this? I've noticed I've started talking with my hands a lot, and I'm trying to stop. It's like I need to sit on my hands. But yes, or if not, the Vatican. So the Vatican is quite a walk. The Vatican was about, I'm going to say just over an hour from where we was at Trastevere. However, again, if it's not peak, so I think, is it January to April, they're not that, I say not that warm, they're still in their 20s, but you're not in your high 30s. You might be okay. If they don't really like walking, but they might love like talking about historical, there's so many like fun things you can do in walks around Rome that they like tell you to look out for things, and you have the plaques of the like did you know, or like your famous bits here and there. So I would say for that age as well, I actually would. Yes, it is a bit of a walking holiday, but I'd be like, shush. The sights that they will see, they're old enough to take in and absorb them sights. Also, the language, the culture. Most children love pizza. If they get a little bit whiny, be like, you know what? There's pizza galore. You can buy pizza by the slice in most of the shops, to be honest. Do you want a slice of pizza? No kid, I would doubt, will say no. So if they're like, yeah, well, you need to just walk a little bit further. I'm all here for like bribing. You know what, if it gets everyone to the end result in one piece, that is the main important thing. But yeah, I would definitely go. Maybe not peak hot time. I would say maybe like January to April perhaps. See how it goes, my lovelies. I'd love to know if you do go, or if you've got any more ideas on it, please do let me know. Let's have a look. The last one for my lovelies. We went last week to Rome, and we've already booked again for September. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. Loved it. Loved the pace of life. Sitting outside a bar, people watching, drinking cocktails. Oh my God, is there anything better? Is there anything better than people watching? Me and Dan love people watching. We're not like analytical. We're just like, oh. We all always think, what do they do for a job? Wonder what they do for a job. Wonder if they're married. Wonder how long they've been together. And then I say to him, I wonder what people say when they look at us and they people watch. And Dan's like, oh, I never thought of that. I'm like, but I did. And I'm like, oh God, I wonder what people would say if they people watched us. The food is amazing, and it is our new happy place. We went to Pompeii and Positano for a day too. It was roughly about £100 each on a coach tour, but it was amazing. Now, this, again, is another reason we want to go back. Dan really wants to go to Pompeii and climb Mount Vesuvius. I think that's correct. And Positano. Why do I feel like I've heard of that? Is that along the Amalfi coast, like by Sorrento? Because we did see an Amalfi trip where you went to Sorrento, and I think there was 2 other islands or 2 other places on it. And I was like, right, this is definitely something to go. That would be lovely in the heat. Maybe like May time. I think June, being on a crowded boat might be a bit too much. But that sounds lovely. And you know what? When we arrived at the hotel in the early hours of the morning, we were so surprised to see people actually still sitting outside bars drinking wine. I'm like, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Probably no different to London, to be honest. But you just think, oh my God, are you not sleeping? You should be getting your beddy buys right now. But yeah, it was honestly lovely. The food, that's what I mean. The food, you can't go wrong. You actually cannot go wrong. So, my lovelies, I hope that's answered all of your questions. And as I say, I cannot wait to bloody get back to Rome. I really, really can't. I do hope you've enjoyed the vlogs. Let us know if you have watched them. Did you watch one and drop off and think, God, she's boring? Or did you stick around and watch all of them? Please do let me know. But guys, if you did enjoy that video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. And leave us a comment. Where would you actually like to see me and Dan travel to? Whether that be the UK, Europe, worldwide, let us know, because we love travelling, we love seeing what's about, and sometimes you guys come up with some crackers and we're like, we did not even think of that. But yes, take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!